And welcome back to the Wicked Wild Podcast, a feral podcast for the uncivilized horror fans. And welcome back. We hope you all had a wonderful holiday, whatever you celebrate, whenever you celebrate, and however you celebrate. As long as the bloodstains came out of the carpet, we're all good. And we are primed and ready to get into 2025. And as we started last year, our last episode of the year is going to be sort of a year in review for 2024. And oh, what a year it has been. But before we get into all of that and start unpackaging, where we all went wrong, let me introduce you to our other hosts this evening. We're going to start in the glitz and glamour filled world of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Steel City, America, with my buddy Eli. How's it going, Eli?
Hey, you know me, just, eye in the sky, ear on the ground, nose in the air. Just,
That seems like you're doing a lot. Maybe you're doing too much.
I would agree with you, but I feel like the way the world has turned this last year alone, the fact that all of us don't have a head on a swivel just shows how close to doom we truly are.
Exactly. Maybe we deserve what we get.
Yeah, sure. I'm not going to disagree with that statement.
So let me ask you, Eli, obviously importantly, very important time of year with the holidays around. One of your favorite times of year.
Well established. Yeah, everyone knows us. Everyone knows us.
Did Krampus bring you what you asked for Christmas this year?
I was going to say this. Okay. Krampus, he's on my side. All right. Krampus is on my side. I don't care what anybody thinks. And so Krampus treats me right. He knows we're the same mind. And that involves getting that fat guy in the red suit out of power. He don't deserve it.
So is the highest regard Krampus gives just not hitting you with sticks, or does he actually give people something?
I thought you taught us that Krampus also, like, if you're a dick, like, Krampus shows up.
Hold on. Well, first off, that's like you're implying that I'm a dick. First off,
no, that's what I'm asking you.
Just clarifying your terms.
Dave said, "Isn't it good if you don't get hit?"
Because he knows that Christmas. I think Christmas is dumb. He sends me a Christmas is dumb Christmas card every year.
Oh, okay.
That this is stupid. It's like just wishing you just another day. That's what we do it. Normally, he's got his photo in there, him hitting people with sticks, and has
a little smear of Krampus poo at the bottom of it.
No, there's no poo. Then I send him thanks for wishing me another day card. Picture of me just being in another day.
So you're like his Cindy Lou Who, it sounds like.
We're like, basically. I mean, basically, if that's how we want to describe it, basically, yes.
It would be fun if, randomly and for no reason whatsoever, your voice sounded like Cindy Lou Who for this episode.
You know what?
Didn't even reminded us, Dave.
You know what? Listen.
It would never happen. I mean, obviously,
You go ahead and do that. And then next year, when you wake up to a 10-foot tall, goat-looking Santa, and he's beating the shit out of you with some birch sticks, don't come calling your boy Eli to ask him to call him off. That's all I'm going to say.
Your number will have changed.
Yeah. I'll just answer here. Help me, Eli. Talk to your boy. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't recognize this number, and it is late.
The Eli you are searching for is no longer available.
Or you'll just get the iconic and most powerful Eli line. Oh, help me, Eli. I'm getting beat. I told you so.
Click. Yes, you are. Click.
Yeah. Click.
And on that note, and obviously the seasonal spirit is still strong with us here on the Wicked Wild Podcast. But let's say hi to our New Jersey native.
Oh, please!
That was a legitimate curse, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Our Staten Island angel, Jamie. How's it going?
It just keeps getting worse. Hi.
How's it going?
It's going okay.
You've got the sweater dialed in today. For people not on our YouTube watching us do this, Jamie is sporting her full-on Krampus Christmas sweater, and it's pretty fantastic.
It is pretty good. I have to give props to Scarecrows in somewhere Pennsylvania, like an hour and change from me. also known because they do a lot of Terrifier shit. So guess how I heard about that?
Where it all started.
Also, let's just be honest. Somewhere Pennsylvania, that could be the name of any town here. So,
I'm very aware. It's it's not super far for me though. Like, you know, it's like an hour and 20 little field trip on a Saturday, which is what I did. Yeah.
So Jamie, it is well established. All joking aside, we know that you loathe the holidays, you know, for work reasons, for personal reasons, for being a New Yorker reasons of all the drunk Santas.
You're correct.
Menace. Like there's nothing good about the season, but I have to imagine that of all of that, something happened in October that would, at least from my perspective, make me think that this year maybe Christmas isn't quite so bad because you have a new Santa Claus who's representing on your behalf.
Art, you mean?
Yeah.
Is it Santa art? Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, the fact that will now be, so the fact that not only is it one of my favorite series, but the fact that it now has a Christmas, so my Christmas traditions are like Nightmare Before Christmas, duh. I have a whole sleeve for people that don't know. Krampus, which I'm wearing the sweater. And now like we could throw Terrifier 3 in there. That's like amazing to have a new Christmas movie for my purposes.
That's what I was thinking. It's like the triple crown.
Yeah, I can. And then it pains me to put a real Christmas movie in there, but fucking Elf is one of the best movies of all time.
Of course. Sorry. Yeah.
So it is, Eli. I'm
not disagreeing. Okay. I actually,
Elf is it's undeniable how great that fucking movie is.
I do enjoy Elf, but it's not because like the Christmas spirit, because who gives a shit?
It's just an amazing movie.
Well, to me, it's just Buddy the Elf is almost pure, unadulterated chaos.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I love it.
Anyway, so the fact that art is now going to be a Christmas staple, Dave, you're right. It's amazing. I already watched it like 2 times this past.
It's already better.
Or something. Or 3,
and I hadn't thought about it till just now when you listed off your favorite or your holiday tradition. I don't think there's been a better way to describe my friend Jamie to people who haven't met Jamie than just to list those movies. If you want to understand my friend Jamie,
you're right though.
That's all you. I mean,
the comedy part, the gore, and then the cute. If in a way,
you would never admit to it, but super sweet.
Like it's like that's
but like super sweet and covered in blood.
Yeah, that's my Christmas.
That's Jamie. That's my girl
Christmas
Jamie.
Trifecta is like.
That's you.
I like that.
I love it. It's a little Christmas miracle for us. So, as I mentioned, we don't have a movie we're reviewing this week. We are doing a little review. I'm doing it a little different. I'm a little excited because my co-hosts don't know how this is going to play out today.
No, you're surprising us like Eli.
Exactly. So we are going to be doing a review of our movies for this year. And for those that have been following along, we've done big blocks of movies. So we've had a lot of personal favorites, and maybe not even favorites, but ones that we wanted to talk to together. And I wanted to put together, as you know, in Camp Wicked Wild this year with Survivor Camp, I love me a good spreadsheet. So I did me a spreadsheet of what are the most popular, and that's listens and YouTube views, all the ways that people can compile all of our social media.
We got lots of metrics, Dave.
Got a lot of stuff going on here, but I have put together our top 5 episodes. These aren't our top 5 movies. These are the top 5 original pieces of content of our responses to a movie.
I remember them.
So we're going to go through it. I'm going to give you our top 5 and bottom 3.
Oh, okay.
Because I think that's equally fun for both our movie reviews and our campfire tales. So we're going to throw a little primer in there for next week's final campfire tales as we get into the campy season, which I'm sure you're polishing up that award already, right?
Listen, it's the biggest event of the year. Let's be honest. I've been contacted by various news organizations and television networks, and for some reason Elon Musk wants to buy it. I don't know, but listen, it's a big time.
And just, as a primer, who was the big winner last year? I know that our buddy, the Squonk, got ripped off in the final.
It did.
Final run.
Ragamume was the first winner, the big winner of the Campies last year.
She's been swaggering around like she owns the place ever since.
Listen, changed out them iron nipples for gold ones. I just, So we'll have to see this year who's going to take the crown and join her in the biggest stage of them all.
Sounds
the campy
good.
Stage.
Can't wait. And I'm feeling the chaos energy building within me already.
You should.
So I'm going to let Eli kick us off this evening.
Ooh.
So I'm going to give you a couple of options.
Okay.
And then we're going to get into this. So first option is, do you want to do a movie or a campfire tale first?
Let's do a campfire tale first.
Okay. Do you want to do the least viewed, least popular, or the fifth most popular? Do you want to start at the top or the bottom?
Let's start at the bottom, work our way up.
Okay. Well, this is going to be an interesting one. And don't take this stuff personally. It's just the way the metrics works.
I have been on record these last 3 years of saying multiple times, 90% of people may disagree with me, but 90% of people are wrong. So,
because honestly, the second least popular is one of my favorites of this year. But so there's no accounting for taste on this. But this is, according to all of our fans out there and our viewers, the least popular Campfire Tales for the 2024 season was Jonestown.
It's heavy. I get it.
Did I miss that one?
Yeah, I think you were on vacation.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the reason.
Yeah, sure.
It's heavy. It was probably the first heavy one I did.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of information to kind of get to the story there. And I remember in the middle, I'm like, this is.
Yeah, you were dancing around some really rough stuff there.
Yes, I was. First, I'd like to say it points to my skill of being able to dance. But when I got to the end of it, I was like, that may not have been the best choice.
I remember clearly me and Jeff going,
yeah.
This guy's not great.
No.
To be fair, anything though, I know how you feel about talking about real life, certain real life. Jonestown's one of the most not popular, well known. What I mean to say.
Oh, for
on that topic. So it's not. Yeah.
I think what's weird about that
and well covered in media, in
for sure.
Television, and
where it gets weird is people know surface level stuff really well.
Fair.
But then when I always try to bring something new, and I was like, should I talk about the old lady punching? Because that seems, or the punishment styles of Jim Jones. That seems like it might be. I was like, maybe I'll bring up the monkey. Well, that's kind of sad. Oh.
Yeah, the hobo boxing and the animal cruelty were just kind of hard to talk fun around. So fair enough. And what we'll do is we'll then say thank you to our audience for making that the least popular. We get it. Totally understand.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Maybe humanity isn't ready to burn just yet.
Yeah, you think?
We'll see. So Jamie, I'm going to let you go next, obviously, and we're going to do a movie. But I'm going to let you choose. Do you want to do the least popular or the fifth most popular? Which side do you want to start on?
Let's go opposite. Let's do fifth most popular movie. Yeah.
Okay.
Why not? I don't know.
Just out of curiosity, any guesses from either of you?
Fifth most popular, you're saying?
Is it
this year?
That shitty bear movie?
We did that last year, didn't
we?
Was
that last year?
Cocaine
Oh my God. All the years
this year,
are time has become nonsense.
I know, to help you out, it was all our picks this year, right, Dave? Was that not the whole season?
The blocks.
Maybe? Okay.
I thought we started that the second quarter.
No, we only did two movies before we got in the blocks. We did, and the two that we did before we got in the blocks was Wreck and American Werewolf in London.
That's right. Oh, you know what then? I'm going to go with American Werewolf in London as the fifth.
Okay.
That's not a bad guess. Yeah.
That's what I'm going with.
Let's just to pick something different from Eli, I'll pick one. Let's just say of all the things we did. I mean, it could be so random. It could just be a movie that's popular. It could be a movie that has a search, a word that falls in a search title, thing. Fifth most popular. Let's just say Evil Dead 2.
Ooh, so close. I thought you were going to say it there for a minute because it starts with the first same two letters. It was Event Horizon.
Oh, Event Horizon.
So that was a fun pick from Jeff. And
it was.
If I remember right, I don't think Eli, were you on that one?
No, I was out of town that week.
This was when you had your mess. Yeah, your scheduling conflicts. We lost you for a little bit.
Yeah, that was back during what I call the dark days.
All I just heard, by the way, was that was backdooring, and I was like,
yeah, you know how he
Eli,
do.
I don't need your personal what
you. So, Eli, since you weren't on that one, let's just open it up now. Yeah. Give us your synopsis of what's your opinion of Event Horizon.
I like Event Horizon a lot. It's a really neat premise, in terms of the future space travel, or apparently not so future because they keep announcing that they're figuring out the math to do this now, of going through space time and like making tears to travel through, and like what some of the consequences that could be. I am also one of the few that would argue that Event Horizon is probably the closest thing we've ever gotten to a live action Warhammer movie. Because the vibe and like the
I thought you were going to say what I said the whole episode, which was it's the live action Dead Space movie.
Oh yeah, that fits too as well.
The whole episode, I kept saying, except that somehow Dead Space is better. I like Event Horizon, but somehow Dead Space has a better story than Event Horizon.
It's got more of a story. In all fairness to Event Horizon, it's not a complex story, I would say.
No,
but you also got Sam Neill, my boy Lawrence Fishburne. Yeah. I like it a lot. I have been greatly disturbed how lately there's been lots of talks that there's apparently a remake of Bruin.
Oh, really?
Yes. And if I may now, Hollywood, if you're listening, let's just not.
Just stop it.
Don't. We don't need to remake
That
everything.
though. I know Eli wasn't on, but did we discuss that?
I think we did. I think
who could do it, or like what if it was? I feel like we might have, but now
I feel like they shouldn't. Just don't.
I think we agree.
Make a new movie. Just make a new movie.
Well, we know that's not happening, Eli. Yeah. It's remake after remake after remake. And this, I think at this point, I know we feel it a lot in the horror community, but I will say for once, I think it's happening like everywhere. Like there is I work for the damn company. Wicked just set like records for musical and a theater, whatever, but it's still based on something people have already fucking seen a million times because this play was out for like, 20 years. Yeah. So it's a safe bet. Like, there is nothing fucking new. Even these movies that are doing so well are just remakes of something that already exists. So I'm just like, come on, man.
Except Terrifier 3.
Yes, but I was leaving that. I was trying to.
I may have been sucking up a little bit. All right.
But it's true. Like everything is just being remade, and it's getting. And I feel like it's hitting every genre at this point. To see a Wicked movie do so well, but it's like. And I never saw the play, but I know so many people have and love it and whatever. And it's just like, so I get it. Naturally, we had to do a movie, but like also why so long after the fact did we finally do this movie?
Jamie, you and I talked about this when discussing Terrifier.
Yeah.
But I honestly think that it's going to start in the horror genre, but I think it's going to spread. Is that dollar sign can't be ignored for what started out as an independent series.
I know.
And how well it did. And I think you're going to see in the horror community first, the horror genre first, and then it's going to spread. I think maybe because, with a lot of these movie studios, they can only read money. And I think they're like, oh, that's a lot of money for something that's not a remake, that maybe we're going to start seeing, a couple new movies every year.
I would hope, but I also saw literally today a meme that said something like movie studios. I forgot what if it said movie studio that said something. It said studio, whatever, all want a Terrifier 3, but no one wants to make a Terrifier 1, which is very fucking true. And it's just so we'll see.
Yeah. All right. So Jamie, I'm going to let you pick next so that you have the full option of options. So first, movie or Campfire Tale?
I think we should alternate. I mean, we don't have to, but I'm gonna go Campfire Tale. We just did a movie, so I'm gonna say Campfire Tale. Right? Wait, yeah, we did Campfire Tale movie. Yeah, Campfire Tale.
Second least favorite or fifth most popular?
Fifth most popular. I'm sticking with the popular. It's you guys gonna stick with the
or Rafe.
All right. So this one is one that's not that old, but really seemed to resonate with our fan base. The slasher brainstorming from Camp Wicked Wild.
Oh, I forgot we had all those. Okay, so wait,
that's the first one. That's the first one. That's the actual slasher concept.
Oh, the slasher, the guy. Oh, those are fun. Those are fun episodes. I forgot. So
the thing I enjoyed about those, at least for me, I don't know what your experience with it, Jamie, because obviously we go into cold every week. I mean, people may think that we talk about those before. We do not at all. Eli gives us no concept. Sometimes he doesn't even tell us what it's about.
Sometimes he changes it too. Yeah. Like he'll tell us personally what it is, and I come prepared, and then Eli's like, "Oh no, I changed my mind."
I have found to get the best reaction, because it's a very reactionary show. Just like a camp, you're sitting around a campfire. Someone like a lot of times, it's not like, "Hey, everybody, I want to tell you this story. Let me tell you the plot real quick before I tell you the story." Okay, here we go. Like someone just said, like I mean, Dave, you as someone who's been camping a lot too, I know like. Sometimes you're sitting around like someone tells a story and everybody's looking around like that's fucked up. Like exactly. that's what I've gone for.
So talking about?
Yeah. I have made it a precedent that I would either just tell you the gist, but then if I decided to change it, I would just do it, or like I wouldn't tell you guys at all. A little insider, even when like when Jeff was helping me, I wouldn't tell him either.
He was in the same boat.
Yeah.
Well, and to the point we were just having when we were talking about Terrifier and the thing I enjoyed about the slasher brainstorming, obviously the concept of that one was that Eli had a game where he was going to present Jamie and I with some concepts for new slashers because, as we were just talking about, there are no new original ideas. So it was just a goof to talk about some urban legends that could possibly be made into slashers. And at the end of it, we were all really annoyed that none of these movies existed. Like legitimately had come up with some concepts that we think had legs, like they were commercially viable, proof that we don't have to go down the road of Halloween 10.
Yep.
Oh, it's not that hard, Hollywood.
No, because if the three numbskulls right here can come up with like
and if you haven't listened to that one, go listen to it and tell us we're wrong. I don't think we are.
Sorry.
Yeah. I even got asked about that. I said, listen, they go, some of those ideas were good. Did you just copy them off movies? I went, no. I said, we made those up. I said, it's not hard.
Just got to talk it out.
Oh my God.
Well, to be fair, you've got to be somebody who has consumed a ton of horror.
Yeah.
And then talk it out.
Yeah, but fair. And then you pull from other horror movies, but that's what everybody does. And then you make your own original new thing.
And who would have thought the one that Eli threw in there just for giggles would be one of our favorites? We'd get our Plague Doctor slasher.
Picked him because of his name. Like it was a fart name, and I was just like, "Oh, that's funny." I was like, "They're not gonna like this," and then he won the whole cake and bill.
Exactly, as we do in our own brand of chaos. So that was a fun one. 5th most popular. Attaboy, Eli. Fantastic job.
Thank you.
All right, so back to you, Jamie. We're going back to movies. Do you want the least popular?
Well, hold on.
Wait, it's Eli's turn. I just picked that.
Oh,
she that's right. That Campfire Tale.
That's right. I thought you would. Totally my mistake, Eli.
Fair.
I'm going to make it up to you right now.
Okay, cool.
By letting you pick a Campfire Tale again or a movie.
I'm going to go with Jamie's original idea. Let's choose movie.
Okay.
And I'm already going to tell you now what the worst one.
The worst one.
Yeah. Because I'm assuming that was one of my options like it was before, right?
Absolutely.
Yop, I want the worst one.
So this is worse, right, Dave? Like this
is
the
worst, least popular.
Okay, least popular.
And again, we're not ragging on this movie. Maybe we've already done that already.
Or maybe we are. I can't wait to hear.
But we're just ragging on ourselves. This is our audience least favorite review from us this year. Any guesses?
Was it starring Nicolas Cage?
That's what I was about to ask.
Yes.
Oh, I knew it. You know how I said, listen, just like a shooting star, 90% of you people are wrong 90% of the time. But in this instance, you might be right.
You're right. It's the witch. Is it the witch one?
It is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Wow. Like a shooting star. You see, everyone.
We are so proud of our audience right now.
Haley's comment just passed.
People knew not to fucking click on that. They were like, why the fuck would I
not going to watch it? So why do I want to listen to people talk about it?
Because I am almost convinced in previous episodes of movies we watched about witches, I myself or someone else made the comment about, at least it wasn't that Nicolas Cage movie. Because like that is by far, there's Antlers as the worst movie ever made, closely behind by that movie.
I'm just going to say it's a substantial gap
it is a substantial.
It's like double-digit percentage.
It is
lower than the next one.
If you're hanging out in that arena, you're still bad.
Exactly, which is hilarious.
That's
It is such a bad movie. I mean,
I believe that for many reasons. Bad movie. It's not super popular, even if it was a bad movie. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't think it's well.
Yeah, it's
known,
not so bad. It's
like,
good.
That's no.
Ron Perlman couldn't even save that movie.
It was just a garbage, and I had never seen it. So literally now I'm part of the zeitgeist of I've at least had the experience and can confirm that audiences were correct. It's a piece of garbage.
Yeah, I had never seen it either.
I can't believe I'm going to say this. It's probably the only second time I think in Wicked Wild history. But Dave, on behalf of the world, I'm sorry that you're in a place that you can now say you saw that movie. I would like to just apologize.
What about me?
Wait, was that your first time too?
Yes, that's what I just said.
Hold on, Jamie, and Dave. Just let me formally apologize. Anyone right now out there listening, including yourselves, who could sit there and say, I've never seen that movie. I need you to cherish that.
Stay that way. Yeah, stay that
because
way.
You can see living proof that once these two now said that they saw it, they'll never be the same. And I am so sincerely sorry you do.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
Is it also not a movie that's like 2 hours long, but feels like it's 11?
It's all around. It's just,
there's nothing compelling about it at all.
No.
Literally to the point that they had perfectly good real wolves for a scene and still went in with CGI and ruined them.
Yeah.
Like what they had to do was nothing. And they said, no, we've got to do something to make this bad.
Have we discussed here my favorite fact about wolves and CGI? We probably have, right? That most movies, they have to CGI the tails because they're always wagging.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to in most
movies. Because they're trained wolves,
They're they have to CGI fix the tails because a lot of these dogs or anything are always wagging and they have to make the tails look down.
I guarantee you they weren't wagging during this filming because even those wolves were sitting there going,
oh, fuck.
What the fuck are we in? This is embarrassing to us as a species.
Even the wolves fired their agents. Is that what you're saying?
They're like, never again. Never again. Now, the only thing I can promise you guys, because it's been some time since I've watched that, you do get to the point where you forget large portions of that movie. The sour
I've already forgotten it.
Well, the sour taste always remains.
Yeah. But I couldn't tell you besides, I remember the opening and I remember some dumb shit at the end, but the whole middle couldn't really tell you.
Yeah,
the thing part with a crate, I think, with a cage. I remember that. I don't know.
Her wagon jail.
Yeah, the jail. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing I'll never be able to shake, I'm confident, Eli, is the hairpiece that Nicolas Cage.
Oh, yeah, that was terrible.
I mean, that's haunting, is what
I don't even know if I call that a hairpiece. It's kind of like they just found horsehair and they're like, should we get it made into a wig? And someone's like, we'll just lay it across his head. That should work.
Oh, God.
Anybody got Lil Elmer's glue?
All right, Jamie. It's your turn to go over to the Campfire Tales.
Yep.
Do you want the second least popular or the fourth most popular?
The fourth most, right? I'm going, fourth most popular.
All right. We're going to talk about the Philadelphia Experiment.
Which one? Did I miss this one?
You weren't
there for that one.
That was a solo Dave and myself. But once again, in all fair, that was a weird concept, and then Dave and I made it weirder.
We had a really good time, and apparently the audience appreciated that.
I'm sure it got hard to follow.
This is popular. Sorry, this is popular. Yeah.
I'm sure it got hard to follow at one point when I think you and I may have cracked the psychic algorithm of how to make things real. And we were going back and it was,
we got a little dimensional about everything. Yeah. Dave might've been flying on his own magic carpet.
And I was just supporting
it. You let me run, brother.
I just let
you
were
the wind beneath my wings.
I wasn't going to let you slink that night. No, I was going to keep you floating. You would say something, I'd go ahead, tell me about that, Dave.
How did that make you feel, David?
Yeah. Describe in great detail.
All right, Eli. Just so you don't pick all the movies and Jamie doesn't pick all the Campfire Tales, I'm going to switch it every other one.
Do it.
Okay.
So we're still on Campfire Tales.
Okay.
Third best, second least popular.
second least popular.
All right. And this was ironically the one I was listening to today because it has one of my favorite memes of the year.
Oh, I can't wait.
But apparently our audience didn't care much for it, but we're going to talk about sand stuff.
What stuff?
Sand stuff. You don't remember sand stuff?
After Feast. It was after your Feast episode.
Sand stuff. Yeah, tell me what happens. I vaguely remember because it was wait, is that the one that changed on us? No, wait, something else changed on us.
We learned about the most deadly animal in West Virginia in Sand Stuff.
Yeah.
The bird?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The fucking killdeer was in Sand Stuff?
Yeah.
Because we were talking about Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, how can a bird ever be scary?
Oh, God. And you asked
Eli went on a rant.
Listen, I'm just trying to warn my friends about the dangers.
Sand Stuff. I love when Eli just picks like a fucking
that whole block. It was
noun or whatever. Is that
stuff,
a noun?
Sand stuff.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Sea stuff. And I think wood stuff. Like that was a whole block it did where they were it was something stuff.
But my favorite moment in a campfire, well, it's probably an exaggeration. One of my favorite moments in a campfire tale is how passionately Eli shared this like traumatic event from his childhood about this. And it sounds rough. It's called a killdeer.
Yeah.
He was affected by this animal. And I look it up and it's literally the size of a teacup.
Listen.
And its whole defense is to act wounded.
Listen. That is I provided the evidence during that episode. That is just a lie Big Bird tells you.
Okay.
They are dangerous animals. Don't you give me that look. Don't you give me that zoomed in look. They're dangerous.
I loved it. I loved every moment of it.
Oh my God.
So audience, maybe give that one a second chance. That's all I'm saying. Maybe you missed.
Wait, that was least. Yeah, Eli goes least, right? And I go, yeah. So that was the second least popular. Okay.
And once again, 90% of you are wrong.
All right, Jamie, you are up and on movies. So which way do you want to go?
Popular. So what are we though at number 3?
We're at the fourth most popular.
Fourth most popular. Okay. Yeah, I want to go fourth most popular.
All right. And you are going to have a lot to say about this one. And so is your boy Eli. We're going to talk about one of our first Camp Wicked Wild installments into the top of the list, Halloween.
Oh God.
The fourth most popular episode of the season.
And the saddest.
So that's interesting. Saddest for you, but that is interesting because we've behind the scenes on the show, it doesn't matter. And I don't mean that as if this is like information people, but what I mean is like, we've talked a lot of times about an episode just taking off, whatever. We've had many conversations about like the movie definitely matters if it's like one of the most popular, or if it's been out for 30 years, 40 years versus 5 years, or if it's in theaters right now. Like I think our like Nope episode was like really high, and it's because we literally released it but Halloween is interesting to me that's not even higher than 4, I guess, of the year, because like,
it probably had something to do about you all shitting on one of the Hall of Fame final girls.
No, because like they had to click it. Like some of Dave's metrics are literally just listening or download or whatever. So you would think Halloween would have been just even a go into one is what I'm saying. Like people would like download it or whatever just because it's Halloween. But maybe at this point too, it's just like, or maybe we've had this conversation many times about us being old, but like maybe people are like, oh fuck, it's not the 2000 whatever Halloween.
Yeah,
I even told you guys, like I've had conversations with people.
I know.
Like you talk about the original, and they're like, oh one like one 2009, and I'm like, there was like 9 before that.
Yeah, that's. I mean, like maybe that's part of it. But anyway, I mean, fourth. How many, Dave? What are the? I can't look at that. How many do we do in a season?
We did 26. Movies this year.
That's all. So this is fourth most popular. So I mean that makes sense. That's it's just
and to be fair, it came out the second week of October on a horror podcast, and it was about the original Halloween. It's going to get some push just for the subject matter and the time that we put it out for sure. Yep.
Fair.
Yes, and we got a lot of extra coverage on social media for the same reason, because we were talking about Halloween during Halloween. So.
Yeah, I don't know if Eli wants to relive that whole experience because of how much. To be fair, Eli, I was the only one who shit on the movie. So like, I mean, it's not like
that Jamie Lee Curtis lost. I mean,
well, that's
one of my favorite final girls. I just,
it is the moment that we all realize that she's one of the worst.
Even though she's one of the OG. Show was just shatting all over her, except for me. But even in my guttural defense, I couldn't give her a bump.
Yeah, I think you realized for a survival school competition, she's probably not the horse to bring to the race.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that was, and I'm sure this played into it getting as many as it did, but it was an episode where we had one of our favorite people on. We had Joe on for that one, and he's always a blast.
Yeah, he's always fun to have on. So yeah,
and I think he even was starting to defend, and then he realized there's not really anything I can say about her survival skills.
That's the thing. When you put it, Dave, when you make a spreadsheet, listen, and we got to go facts. Yeah. And you start looking at things like literally, I hate to say it, but you know what I mean? Metrics. I love using that word because it's all the time in my fucking job. But like, when you're going to start looking at them, it doesn't
matter if it hurts your feelings.
You got to it's black and white. And guess where she falls?
I definitely realized about 15 minutes into that episode, I'm like, I should have picked like 2018 one.
I picked the wrong Lori.
I picked the wrong Lori. That was the wrong Lori to put in this race.
Fair enough.
To be fair, yeah, I think I agree.
Yeah. She had a rough road to hoe for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Eli, you are now back on top. What are we doing?
So I think there's only one worst episode left, right?
For the Campfire Tales. Yeah.
Let's just rip that Band-Aid. What was the number one worst?
And I'm going to defer to you all because this was a Jamie Eli only episode and one that's close to both of your hearts.
Is this the Jersey
Jamie
one?
versus Jersey.
I'm sorry. That is one of the best episodes to ever exist. And I don't mean to toot Eli and his own horn, but I want to say something. I know he said this before, but we'll say it here for people who maybe have not listened to where it's come up before. But to his point earlier where he changes things, he had an idea coming into this. Then I think you changed it. But even his idea starting it, we evolved as this episode was going. And I'm sorry, but we just went off the rails in the best way. Our brains were on fire.
Well, and to the point we made earlier, just the title of it being Jamie versus Jersey probably doesn't properly articulate what's going on there.
You're right.
People may have made a mistake and skipped it. So Eli, make your pitch. Tell us what's actually going on in the Jamie.
Maybe I should have elongated that title. It's not Jamie versus Jersey. It's Jamie versus Jersey's problems. And she's fixing
Jamie
them.
solved it. Yeah, that is
solving all of your cryptid and supernatural problems in a shockingly quick amount of time.
It wasn't. I think it was supposed to be Eli was just going to teach me about Jersey legend.
That's how it started.
And then I decided we were like putting out fires.
Before you even got there, originally it was just going to be, I was like, we'll do some Jersey ones. And that was it was. Well, I'm going to jab Jamie a little bit, and I'm going to pick the lamest ones I can find.
That's right. You picked really late because
literally, I decided that, and I thought it'd be real funny, like an hour before we recorded. And I'm like looking, and trust me, internet, there's a lot of list of like the lamest things in Jersey, but I found those ones, and I went in there like, this is funny, and then like I did the first one about that,
and then Jamie crushed it.
Oh, it was insane. Oh, whoa. Dave's coming in close for this one. It was insane how quickly she did. I was like,
that episode.
And then we pivoted. And then somehow Jamie ended up with a supernatural zoo and like she's being a ghost therapist. Like, it was crazy.
Because, to your point earlier about it, like things being a campfire tale, like that thing just started being like, it's kind of like the same way, Dave, like the same thing with our picking the slashers, like where it just took a life of its own. And we just got so creative with things that like, and it just became a full jokey conversation that like, that was just like, oh, not him telling me about just the lamest, whatever. It was just like, we were just like.
Isn't that also the episode where y'all came up with the concept for the suggestion box where y'all just burn movies down?
Is it that one?
Yeah. Yeah. Cause we for that one, it wasn't, I made a reference to It Follows.
Oh God, that movie.
Right. And then I went, and then like, there's a minute in the recording where like, I do this whole thing where like I stop and I zoom in, I go, do you hate it too? Cause I do.
Oh God, that's on our list. Birth
of that.
That's on our list. I will say, not that we put up more than 2 polls or whatever, but you don't want to know what the one that won is that we have to do next. It's Evil Dead Rise.
Oh God, they just announced a new one.
I know, I saw it. They announced the new 2. They announced 2 of them. They announced the title of the next one, but they also announced the director attached to the next one. They announced the next 2. It's a different director for both of them, but yeah. Yep. Anyway, we don't need to. I don't know. Right. The Jersey one to me was actually very funny this season. So I don't know, or just
give it another chance.
Let me ask you this, Dave. Did you ever listen to it?
Oh yeah, I listened to all of our stuff.
You weren't on it.
No.
What did you think?
Well, I wasn't on it, so it was terrible.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough.
Exactly.
It's fair enough.
No, I really had a good time. I remember laughing out loud because it was literally Jamie she hit F it 10 minutes into the episode. Kind of like she did with our subterranean cryptids that we did last year when you weren't available, Eli, of when she realized, okay, none of this is actually going to make any sense. So I'm just going to answer the way I want to answer. And it got really fun at that point. Mm-hmm. So no, I had a blast with it. I genuinely enjoyed it.
See, hear that, everybody? So that means you're all wrong.
Yeah, but Dave did point out, like I said, we're going to, with each of these, I'm going to take the title into account too. I want to hear, especially for the Campfire Tales, because for movies, they're the movie. You know what I mean? So it's
it was the Campfire Tale that came after Pan's Labyrinth. People might have been expecting us to talk about something a little more.
Those definitely pivot far from each other.
Well, sometimes it gets tough with some of the basics movies.
Sometimes Eli does what he wants.
Yeah, I do. Because what am I supposed to go to full Greek mythology? No, thank you. Because now it just feels like a college lecture. And I would argue that I would be a really good college professor teaching. You would have a great time. You might not learn what you want to learn, but you're going to learn something.
You're going to learn something.
No spoilers on if it's on the list yet, Dave, but I want to know before we get there, because now I can't even remember if it was a movie no, it came out recently. Okay, when the zooming on your fucking face was, when did you, wait, that was the one with the mask, right? Which episode?
That was for the Halloween, the episode we talked about on Halloween, when he was wearing the stranger's mask.
Yeah, it was our last campfire.
It was our last campfire. It was, okay. So
which would have made it would have been after the hunt.
It was the twist.
It was still doing the twist. Okay.
Yeah, it was the twist.
All right, that's all.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
And now it's my new favorite toy because I can make my friend giggle anytime I want to. I have full control over it at this point.
It's funny every fucking time. We're literally, for people that aren't watching or whatever, or never have watched it, but we're literally now at this point just in conversation and Dave just zooms into the fucking shot and I just can't take it.
Well, and for those that don't know, I got a new webcam. I got 2 of them. One in my office or my work computer setup is to my left here. And then this is the one I use for personal, but I have the same camera on both and it's a gesture. If I make the L shape, the camera has AI or whatever in it and it zooms in and out, but it only zooms all the way in or all the way out. There's no half steps. It's literally like you have Dave in your face or I'm on the other side of the room. But the funny thing is yesterday I was on a work call and I thought I had disengaged it on my work computer and I went to scratch my beard and the whole camera went in literally to the point that the agency I was talking to, I was working with an advertising agency. The guy who was making the presentation stopped dead mid-sentence and had to compose himself while I'm desperately without doing this to him, trying to get it to zoom back out. Because literally I can make the loser sign to you and zoom out, or I can try and do it off camera and make it work. So that was my whole adventure yesterday with the whole thing. So.
What camera is this? What company is it?
It is called the
Acme.
It's called the OBSBot camera.
Wow. I just can't. I can't. Oh my God.
But the funny thing is it'll follow me around the room, which is kind of cool.
Oh, that's kind of creepy though.
No, it doesn't.
Dave may have left the podcast.
It's like, I heard you talking shit. Cameron's like, I heard you talking shit.
All right, this makes for great podcast, but that's what we're doing. If you want more experience of what we're talking about, just go to the YouTube.
Oh my God!
All right, I can't even remember. Jamie, that was your pick, right?
Was it? I think so. Wait, if it was a movie, we pivoted because Eli was now on Camp Fire Tales, so I did a movie. So now we're
Eli's on the movie side.
Ooh! So
what are we doing?
Let's do. We did the worst movie, or we did number 3. Let's do number 2.
No, we're on number 3.
That, I think
we did the least popular, and we've done 5 and 4 on the most popular. So you.
So he wants least popular, right? No.
Which one do you want?
Wait, what?
I have. We already did the worst of the movies, so the second worst.
The second worst. Okay.
Yeah.
Any guesses?
I'm gonna guess another Nicolas Cage. Yep.
Drive Angry.
Knew it. Because that movie blows. Knew it. If Nicolas Cage ain't the top 3 worst ones, I'll be surprised.
Eli, you were like out of. Did you miss every Nick Cage one? Which ironically, you missed.
I was on Drive.
He was on Drive Angry.
Oh, you were on Drive Angry. I couldn't. Okay,
I was,
but you missed the other
was
ones.
Unavailable for the other 3.
Which is sad because there was actually one movie on that list I actually liked. The Color Out of Space. I missed.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, you do. Yeah. And I knew. Okay, that when you say that one,
but the one
Drive Angry is just a garbage fire.
Oh, I hate it. Once again,
I like that
terrible hairpiece. Terrible hairpiece.
Well, and the funny thing is, I know Jamie loves how ludicrous it's like. The sex scene is all Jamie needs.
It's the opening is all Jamie needed, and she was on board. And I told you, Dave, this is not nearly like the other one, which is a genuine fucking regret. But this is one of those movies like Piranha 3D that I got so mad I didn't see in 3D when I first saw it. Because not only is it so ludicrous, but adding that could you imagine if you're sitting in a theater with people during this movie and it's in 3D? Like, I'm sorry. It's like seeing Snakes on a Plane all over again, which I saw twice in theaters because Tammy and I, my sister, who joined us for an episode this season, had the best time in the world with fucking Snakes on a Plane. So it's just like, what I'm saying is like, sometimes it's those audience movies. We've had this conversation about movies with friends, but some of them, you need that fucking audience that's going to be like, what the fuck? And just cracking up at the absolute batshit insanity of what's happening on screen. And Drive Angry is definitely one of those fucking movies that when 100%. I saw it, I was like, how did I not fucking see this in like a stupid theater with loud people for once, which you never want in a theater. You know what I mean? Like
a theater that serves alcohol, that has a bar in the back, that kind of deal.
That was like Snakes on a Plane when I was younger. Like, I don't really remember. I know that my sister and I saw it twice in theaters. We brought 2 different groups of people, but because we had such a great time the first time, we were just like, everybody needs to see this ridiculous fucking thing.
Yeah.
There was a period of time where everything my sister and I did revolved around Snakes on a Plane. Don't ask. I don't.
Can you still quote it?
You know, we're sisters. You get like these inside jokes and everything. My mom had to buy a Christmas ornament that year. That's like Snakes on a Plane.
Jamie, you're talking to a guy who's been rocking a Snakes on a Plane t-shirt for like 10 years. I like Snakes on a Plane. I get it. I hope I never watch Drive Angry again because when I watch it, it should be called Watching Angry because I hate it.
Well, and the funny thing is, I get why it's not popular because obviously people aren't going to see that movie or they've seen it. But I had a blast talking to you all about how bad that movie was. I mean, I still had a good time.
Yeah, talking about a movie like that, that's like a good example. Let's contrast that with the other bad one that we got, which was like the Witch one again, with a Season of the Witch.
Just bad.
I mean, it's always fun to talk about a bad movie, but Season of the Witch like isn't even like. I mean, we had a decent time because like whatever, you rip on it, but like Drive Angry is a movie that's like fun to fucking talk about how bad it is because it's insane. And it's supposed to be insane. Like whereas Season of the Witch, I think was trying to take itself seriously.
It kills brain cells. It's hard to talk.
Which one? Both of them.
You've had mini strokes the whole time you've watched it because your brain's like, we need to die now before this finishes.
Well, and then you have a star like Amber Heard in it, which you have full permission to trash on.
Yeah. Oh boy, guys. I don't know. It's still, I can't like.
So Nick Cage, 2 for 2.
Oh, he's the worst.
Least
popular. How many? Are we doing 3 or 2 worst? I forgot 3 worst.
3. We're gonna do
the third one better be him. Also, I'm just saying.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be, right?
I'm just saying. Our audience knows our brand, and we're all on the same page. It sounds like for some of this stuff. So congratulations. All right, so Eli, back to you, my man.
It's Jamie's turn. I just picked Drive Angry.
Oh, sorry. Really?
Yeah.
Man, I am having a hard time keeping.
Are you at least checking these off?
Yes, I am highlighting them as I go. All right, Jamie, you are up.
So a Campfire Tale.
Campfire Tale?
We've
done all of our least popular.
Oh, we have. Okay. So we're just in the best. So now I think we're up to either third or second or something.
Third.
Okay.
Most popular Campfire Tale of 2024.
Okay.
Any guesses, Jamie?
One of the making the movie ones. I don't. Well, because again, it's based on titles. Sometimes it's very hard. I don't even know what we titled the Final Girl one or any of those. But I'm gonna say it's. Let's just say it's the Final Girl Campfire Tale. Which I like.
It is not. It is Japanese cryptids. One of our favorite subject matters across Campfire Tales is those wacky ghosts, monsters, and cryptids in the glorious land of Japan.
And I think that was a Dave, you and me episode, right, Dave?
Was it?
Yeah, it was a Dave, and it was just you and me, Dave, for that one.
I know I've been on a lot of Japanese subject matter Campfire Tales, and they're always a blast because you describe them. I'm sure word for word, and then whoever's on there with me, or if it's just me and you, sometimes you just don't know what to say. Like, what do you want me to do with that, Eli? There's a ghost with an eye in its butthole that runs up to you, takes his clothes off, bends over, and then runs into the darkness laughing. What do you want me to do with that, man?
We will never lose. For better or worse, we all now know that exists.
Exactly.
Well, you missed it on this one, Jamie. There's this ghost that this whole thing is it just pulls its scrotum up and stretches over its face and presses its through.
Now I remember.
I described this to Dave.
It uses it as a boat, doesn't it?
And it also uses it as a boat.
One? You forgot that?
and I remember, I described this to Dave, and then I stopped for a second, and I'm watching Dave go. It's like his brain doesn't know to comprehend that information.
Because there are moments, and I'm sure you've had them too, Jamie, when it's just you and Eli. You're like, oh God, I have to carry the whole other side of this conversation. What do you want me to say, dude?
That's what you just say. Okay. That's what I'm like. Cool. Got it.
Oh man,
that's weird, ain't it?
Yeah. Or I say, excuse me.
Oh, he had some whoppers on that one too. If I remember right, the old scrotum ghost was only like mid-tier for the.
That was number 2 on the list of 5.
Oh my God!
And it just got progressively worse the higher you went.
All right, because we're switching back and forth, Eli, you get to pick again on the movie side.
I guess go to number 2 or the movie side. So give me that worst. Give me the last
finish off the worst.
Yeah, okay. And it's got to be Nicolas Cage.
Okay, there are 2 Nicolas Cage movies left. If you think it's Nicolas Cage, which one of the 2 do you think it is?
So it's what?
The New Wicked or the New Wicker Man and Color Out of Space.
It's going to be the New Wicker Man.
Okay. Jamie, you agree?
I don't know, because Eli, this is least popular. Don't people love ripping on that Wicker Man? I feel like
I think people like the Color Out of Space better though.
But
you have to remember though, Jamie, we come from an era where that absurd scene of him screaming about the bees,
which isn't in the movie, I found out.
Isn't in the movie anymore. So I feel like newer people, when they watch it, they just get a boring movie, whereas people who watched it before that was removed got a boring movie and at least a giggle at the end.
Okay, I'm going to take the suspense away.
Yeah.
It's Color Out of Space.
Whoa!
Wait. All 3 of the least popular were
No. All 4 of our least popular movies. We did 4 Nicolas Cage movies this year.
Yep.
4 of them at the bottom.
Yep.
The top one, the most popular, was The Wicker Man.
Okay.
And it was still a factor of 10 less popular than the next one up, which was American Werewolf in London. I mean,
wow.
We did a block of Cage, and our audience was not into it.
No.
Neither was I, to be fair.
Yeah. Because his movies are lame.
Yeah.
His horror movies.
Yeah.
But I was surprised because I would have thought, like you, Eli, that Color Out of Space at least has an artsy, but I don't think enough people saw it. That's probably
one. That's one. And then I think the way my brain was going is that, okay, maybe Color Out of Space was not seen as much. And then if you are going to listen to podcasts, maybe you just wanted some explanation on it. So it's a smaller audience. Whereas Wicker Man, people want to hear people probably rip on it, and more people have maybe seen it. So that's what puts it slightly above the other one, is my logic in my head, I guess.
And I think you hit on a good point earlier. And I think that may have been what carried the little difference between the two was, you're right. The Wicker Man is one that's almost a meme in how bad it is. So people would know that there's going to be a really fun trash conversation.
Let me go listen. Yeah. But Color Out of Space is like, oh, I haven't seen that. Or like, well, like, I don't know, maybe don't care about the maybe you want to have a fun, you want to hear people rip on it. Maybe Color Out of Space. Color Out of Space is probably just simply a people haven't seen kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say it's an artsy movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a fun one. I have to tell you, Eli, that is one that I sorely missed you on, because I knew you liked it. Yeah. And both John and Jamie had nothing to do with it. So I was like,
did you like it, Dave?
I was defending it as best I could.
Yeah.
But there was not much you can defend at the same time. I mean, literally, if I remember right, watching that movie, I had the dreaded moment of the opening scene with the daughter in a full Lord of the Rings cape riding a white pony. And I'm like, oh yeah, she's kind of insufferable in this movie.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
There's only one good scene in that movie.
The credits? Is that what you're
going to say? No.
The mom kid hot pocket.
Yeah. It's when the mom and the kid get fucking fused together and you're just like, that happened. Okay.
And they keep going back to it too. Yeah. Because it is the only interesting thing that went in.
It took for someone like me, and I'm not even going to diss it. It's cool, like that scene, but like I wish there was more of that in that movie.
Yeah. That's understandable, but
there's a lot of pink too in that movie. There's a lot of pretty colors in that movie. I could say that. I remember saying
it is a pretty
I wore
movie.
pink on that episode.
Yeah. I would argue out of like all the movies that stick closer to Lovecraft's works, it's probably one of the better ones. Because
I have a fond memory of Jamie getting pissed when she started thinking, because obviously you put on your critical hat when you watch some of these movies. Mm-hmm. And during the episode where we were talking about it, she got more and more pissed about the concept of the water being tainted. And the more she talked about it, the more she realized it had nothing to do with anything that was actually happening.
Oh, yeah.
So why the hell did we spend so much time talking about the water?
And the guy that comes for it, there's a guy that comes
the useless scientist. Yeah.
It's oh my God.
Yeah, the useless scientist who's hitting on the underage high school girl.
Yep. There was that. Mm-hmm.
So it's all not great.
So I thought, but it's not the season of the witch.
Exactly.
That's when he doesn't like scream at some fruit in that one. He does something really weird with
He's angry at his tomatoes.
Yeah, that's right. Tomato. Yeah. Oh my God.
I would argue for folks like I don't watch Nicolas Cage movie. I will say he's not the main character in this.
Yes, he is.
In the Color Out of Space?
Yeah, isn't he? Yeah.
Which Nicolas Cage? Because he's three different Nicolas Cages.
Well, that's true. I would say like you run into him a lot, but really that scientist is kind of the main character than him.
No, he's not in enough. Rewatch it.
Oh, I will.
Tommy Chong is the main character, and I'll hear nothing else.
Oh, well,
I forgot about that.
That's a respectful argument as well.
All right, Eli, back to you, my guy, on the Campfire Tales. Now, we have closed out the least popular movies, our audience's least favorites of the season. We're only on the top, so I'm just going to give it to you.
Dude, give it to me.
Oh, wait, what? Campfire Tales?
The number 2 most popular, and this one surprised me, the Barney and Betty Hill incident.
Well, I think with all the UFO talk, because that one's been mentioned.
You think that's what it was?
Well, it's been mentioned in some of these hearings a couple times. And so I think people are, with all this alien talk about government, like them referencing that.
Yeah. I've got to look back and see what that that followed Color Out of Space. That makes sense.
Yeah. I think people are, people are craving for some alien news or like not alien news, but like, they make reference to these things in these hearings, and like a lot of people's never heard a lot of this stuff before, that or have taken it serious enough to remember that they've heard it before. But now, since all of a sudden the government's like, there's UFOs. Now everybody's like, well, wait a tick.
We got some fun comments on YouTube on that one too.
Oh, really?
I think a lot of people, or at least my friends who watched it, they got a real kick out of you laid all this out very documentarian wise and all that. And I was very quiet because there was a lot to cover. So like half of the episode, I was just sitting there listening. What you didn't know is I was conspiring against you the entire time to come up with this whole MK Ultra angle on the whole thing. And I don't think you appreciated that very much. I think
listen, no, I always appreciate it because when you do that to me, at least you're just not like, fart. Like you actually like you listen and then you support your nonsense with evidence.
That's what annoyed you, I think, is like you didn't have a counterpoint.
I couldn't. It was just the evidence was too much there for me. Like, oh, this son of a bitch.
I mean, they're named Betty and Barney. Of course, I'm going to bring the Flintstones.
I mean, you have to. You have to. You have to. Is that what the YouTube comment said?
Yeah, they thought that was hilarious. Hadn't seen a Betty and Barney Rubble reference in 4 years, so that was,
people appreciate Flintstones.
I'm an old guy. I've got old guy references.
Hey, I appreciate your references.
I think we all do.
All right, Jamie, back on movies. Number 3 on the list. Couldn't happen to a nicer lady. Let's talk about Scream.
Oh.
So number 3 most popular. All right, I'll give it that. Although I want to hear what 1 and 2 are, but like couldn't happen to a nicer lady.
Hey, for Scream being a top 3, that's pretty good.
Yeah, no, it is. Good. No, he said
Sydney
we had 20,
got a representation.
26, whatever he said, 20 something movies in the year. So
26.
Yeah, and honestly, that one's only like 2 months old, so it got there.
Oh, fair.
Quick.
You're right. You know what? You're right. It wasn't even. I didn't even take that into account. That some of these have been sitting there for much longer than.
Yeah.
See. Everybody likes.
My dog just came in from the other room, and I'm like nervous that he did something he wasn't supposed to do. But
so we'll
find out after this.
So you can congratulate Tammy too. First time as our guest on the episode, and the opener for Camp Wicked Wild. And honestly, Camp Wicked Wild always does really well. Obviously, it's the right time of year.
Yep,
it's going to get a bump just because of the subject matter and the season for it. But Scream, I was really excited this year that we found a way to get a classic, iconic horror movie, because it's hard with our format where we talk about a very specific some of these,
set.
But I was excited you had put it on the list. So
there's a lot of movies over the years that like we obviously haven't done that's special to all of us because we try to keep it in the vein of like, you know what I mean? So that was the perfect opportunity to get Scream in there. And I know I said it then, like I almost had another movie pick because we all kind of picked one. We all picked like a final, a survivor. And like I had another one that was an option, but not nearly. But like, I was like, when else are we ever going to discuss Scream? And like, we have to, as a group of friends, like we had to discuss Scream.
Yeah,
like,
as horror fans.
Like, it's like how like doing Halloween or we had to discuss Scream. Like there was like, so it was like a no brainer to like get that in there. But I mean, and then I got my sister to be on. It was great. All around, that was great for me. That was a great, but
who questioned my things about AI and aliens, which I will never forgive her. But yeah.
And obviously our audience appreciated too because it was like 20% higher than the next one than Halloween was. Like it was really popular. It's Scream, exactly. Not that Halloween's not Halloween, but it's Scream. And we talked about it, I think, on the episode, which kind of breaks my heart in some ways. Of Halloween is almost too old now. It's like when we got into horror when we were kids. I say we. I'm older than you all are, but we had the generation before us of Halloween or horror fans talking about movies like Psycho and The Birds and those kind of things. We're like, it's a pretty old movie, dude. Yeah. Well, now Halloween is like that kind of movie, unfortunately.
Yeah. And even Halloween for like, so, and Dave, I'm not far behind you in age, but I'm saying even Halloween, because that's what 1970s, right? Like even Halloween is like when we were getting into horror was like, well, have you seen this older movie? Like even what I'm saying is even like as a young person getting into horror, yes, it was a mandatory. Everybody saw it. It was one of my sister's favorites. We were young, you know what I mean? But I'm saying like even then was just like, have you seen this one? Because we couldn't see it in theaters. So it was like, we've all talked about this seeking out movies and whatever. And it's much different now. But like even then Halloween was a little behind us. It's not like, okay, I saw Scream as a teenager in theaters. Great. Fantastic. But like, Halloween was even something that was even already out for some of us, that we had to find anyway. So by now, kids, it's fucking ancient. Although we did talk about this, Michael Myers is the most popular horror figure with children. I don't get it. but it's not that Halloween is not still going, the franchise, but whatever. Anyway, we're talking about Scream. Scream is also the most popular fucking.
Well, it's the new old movie that they reference. Yeah.
But like everybody loves Ghostface. He is he is on everything. It's like, I don't know if it still is, but like literally my friend's daughter's phone, her background or either her case, something was Ghostface. It was pink and it was whatever, but it was Ghostface. And I was just like, this is like.
Well, and I think we hit on it in the episode. I think Tammy brought it up, but I agree completely still that Scream is this odd thing to where it feels like a movie out of time. Like it is not a 90s movie. Like the music, even the people, I mean, the outfits and, the way that they dress and some of that reads as 90s, which is now popular again. So it reads as now as well.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
As far as the music and the dialogue and the concepts and the plot, it's all much more modern than it even should have been in 96.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it is. Yeah. It doesn't, you put it on
super
and
smart.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I put it on and I just like you just said, I go, oh, it was 90s. Like, I don't know. I put it on and I never questioned what time frame Scream. Like, I mean, it never, like you said, unless you literally sat there and thought, oh, she's using a landline. I mean, maybe.
Or they keep talking about their cellular phones.
Or the TVs are a little fucking like, but
What about Courtney Cox's bangs?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that was number 2.
She had awful hair in all of them. It's known, but like, yeah, the bangs were 2, the red streaks were 3 or something like that. But like, or that he works in like a Blockbuster, which doesn't exist anymore.
There's one Blockbuster left.
You know what
Alaska.
I mean, though. He doesn't even work in a Blockbuster. He works in like a local video store.
Yeah, Jamie's friend's daughter does not know what a Blockbuster is. And she will suffer for not knowing that.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a shame. But
spent many an hour in those stores,
reading the back of,
but just reading.
Yeah, just like, I mean, literally, Scream is fantastic.
I used to manage a coffee shop in Memphis that was right next to Blockbuster, and I would literally spend my lunch break just walking in Blockbuster, just walking down and trying to pick a movie to go back after work to pick up to take home with me.
Blockbusters.
But I'm a movie nerd, so. All right,
Scream is fantastic. It makes perfect sense that that's in the top 3.
Like, 100%.
Thank God, Scream is in 100%, the top 3. Yeah.
All right, so we have one campfire tale left.
Oh.
The top dog, the most popular by the highest percentage, like literally for 2024, the most viewed, most consumed piece of content that we put together this year.
Oh,
wait, over a movie is what you're telling me?
Even over the movie.
Campfire tale.
It spiked in a substantial way.
All right, give
Any
it to
guesses?
us. No.
Oh man,
Final Girl one. I don't know. It got to be a title. Eli, give me some of the ones that we did. Like, what is something people
the greatest piece of content we put together this year?
And titles got to help. I feel like.
Was it Two Cults and a Lie Part 3?
Oh,
it sure was.
Oh,
and that should bless your all's heart because I know how much we all love those.
Oh, it does.
Our audience loves us too. They loved that.
Oh.
Two Cults and a Lie Part 1 and something else were ones that I used to give as examples for people to understand. Like, I don't know, to understand Campfire. That was a more fun
point of reference. Yeah.
Other ones I would give them one. I can't think of which one in the first season, but like one that was a good parallel of like what we covered. I would give them two different, like I would give them the Two Cults and a Lie for like a funny whatever. And then like the, I don't remember which one from season 1, but another one about like like getting the feel for like the cryptid or the whatever. But yeah, Two Cults and a Lie, going through all the seasons and now being the number one.
Oh, this was the one we learned about our Cagners.
I was gonna say which one was it?
Sure did.
And the people who worship the toilets, which I think made Jamie.
Yeah, this was the toilet
of
cults.
Anger I have not seen.
Jeff loved hating it.
Yeah. This is the one also that you really tricked us. This is the one that I put up a fight on us trying to win this one because you completely.
I did them all based on poop.
Yeah. And they were all real, right? Like you wait, wasn't that
and we had the whole crew on for this one, right?
Yeah, and it wasn't. They weren't all real. It was the
There was one where I got mad at it at the end.
It sounded so real, but it wasn't.
The Texas poop buckets.
Yes, that's right. Fake one because you're like, well, there are survivalists. I'm like, yeah, but they ain't trying to grow Eden with their poop in Texas. Like I said they were.
Yeah, that was the one that actually was fine. I didn't even seem so fake.
Yeah, literally, we finished the game in like the first hour and 20 minutes, and then we spent an hour after that talking about Cagners and shopping online for Cagners. And I think
that they exist for everything. Yeah,
I just remember, I'll never forget as long as I live, when I get done explaining that Cagner, and Dave, you're up first question. I go, you got questions, Dave? And you're like, I hope this isn't real. You're like, they're like, or you said, no,
I needed it to be real.
I hope this is real because I can't imagine a world where you made that up in your head.
Yeah. And I hope, and we've just finished. I hope our audience who loved the content and loved the episode, I just hope in my heart of hearts that there was at least a few of you who did the Cagner gift exchange for Christmas this year, because we teed that one up for you. If you didn't, missed opportunity. Come on.
Yeah, really missed opportunity.
What's a better conversational...
white elephants that you got to go to,
What's a better conversational starter piece than you invite family over for the holidays, they're looking at your Christmas decorations, and they get to your major scene and they see someone squatting and pooping on a rock next to them.
This is such a fucking bizarre thing. Like, we don't even have to get into this again. Like, everybody go listen to that episode, because it is bizarre that this, and I say this as someone who's anti-religion, but the fact that people put this in their nativity, like, this is where my brain can't comprehend, like, cannot compute, because what a mockery of religion in my mind. Like, and I'm someone who doesn't even believe in organized religion. It's just like, let's just put a shitting character in the middle of my nativity scene, because that's what I need.
That'll share the energy.
Might as well just shit right on baby Jesus, right? I don't know.
You got to think that there's at least, hopefully, one of our audience who maybe doesn't have a great relationship with their boss, who gifted them without any sort of comment or explanation a little turd squeezing dude to sit on their desk and said, "Merry Christmas."
That was one of those ones where, like, I think if you watch, there are some things, like when there's some games where I'm trying to trick you guys, I can't look at you all, because a lot of times I'll like run notes and I'll look at you in the thing. But that's but that was one of those ones when I was reading. I dead stared at, because I didn't want to see your reactions. I had to get the information out as,
and you had a hard time. If I remember,
I did.
Oh my God.
I have to admit, and I don't know if Jamie's had the same experience, but when you get like giggly excited about something, Eli, my anticipation goes to 11. I can't wait because I know it's going to be some WTF nonsense when you get that excited about it.
I think one of my favorite things too about the games that he does or anything like that is that it's turned so much into just the who knows Eli game, in that we spend more time just trying to figure out what he would or wouldn't make up, or how he answers questions. Like, we've learned over years that, like, if he doesn't give you their physical or whatever, if he says like, or if he doesn't know the country of origin, he almost always knows the country of origin of where something is or whatever.
Yeah, when we did the witches and he had some Egyptian witch with a classic European name, I'm like, no, sir, go back to the source.
That's one of the ones where he accidentally tricked us because it was wrong information.
Yeah, well, because that was one of those ones where, like, because I always like I said, I'll change stuff up clear the last minute if I find something or whatever. And like, that was one of those ones where, like, I was just looking for a picture and like I saw this thing, I was like, oh, well, that's silly. I'm just gonna throw it on there for hoops and gigs. And it was like right before we recorded, and then I was like, oh, I should have went back and looked at that website.
You didn't do your research, okay?
I looked at that website name, I'd have realized, well, this is shenanigans.
It was a tea shop.
It was a tea shop.
Yeah. Why didn't look at the website name? I was like, oh, this is funny.
All right, so that's our line out for Campfire Tales. What a good year of camp! I mean, that's a solid source. That's a solid bunch of content that we can.
I'm actually surprised only, and again, we're going by names and whatever, but I must recommend to people then that have, because I am surprised that only one of the Campfire Tales from Camp Wicked Wild made it in there when we made 4 fucking full amazing movie ideas. So if anybody is listening to this and hasn't, those 4 in a row, because you need to listen to them in a row because they continue.
They are chronological.
But we make 4 horror movies that you're all going to want to see by the time we're done. But but we do we go from slasher to the final girl to the setting, right? Or whatever. And then the setting.
I mean, we fully spec the movies for sure.
Yeah, they were, So those 4 in a row, I'm surprised at those. But again, we go by title. Campfire Tales, people don't really know what they're getting when they click on it.
Exactly.
Campfire Tales is more of a that's the kind of one where if you got more feedback, what was the most popular content, because going into it, you go in blind and you have no idea really. But those 4,
keep you all on your toes.
Those 4 were pretty. That was a pretty good.
And the funny thing with the Campfire Tales, even more than the movie reviews, is some of them they swing hard into the podcast, got a lot of listens. Some of them swing hard into they had a lot of views on YouTube. There's no rhyme or reason to it. They're getting pushes from different sides of it.
Yep.
It's not nearly as consistent as it is on the movie review side.
Got it.
Which is interesting. All right, we've got 2 movie reviews left.
All right,
Jamie, number 2 on the list.
Yeah,
Godzilla -1.
Oh,
interesting.
It's surprising to me. But again, top 5 movies, 2 of them are Jeff's picks. So Jeff is the big winner this year of the most solid block. And he wasn't even on the freaking movies.
Yeah.
His movies. But that doesn't surprise me, that movie, though. Because wasn't that
one of the really fun conversation? Yeah.
And wasn't that one of the biggest movies of last year or this year or whatever? Yeah, right. That was
it's still hot. Yeah.
So again, that makes sense.
Theaters are still doing theaters will still come back and do runs of it.
Really?
Yeah, one of the theaters here in Pittsburgh's doing an additional black and white run of it again.
Well, honestly, if it goes back to the big screen, because that is one of my biggest regrets with that movie after having seen it this year.
Oh, you didn't see it on?
I did not see it on the big screen, and I would 100% spend to go see that with the 20 speaker theater sound system and a full screen. I would love to see that movie that way.
Yeah, I've debated if I want to go and try to see it. But I kind of think, black and white's cool. I get what they're doing, but I kind of would rather see it in color.
See the full thing,
just with the some of his atomic breath and stuff in this one. So,
that's the one where you guys almost didn't believe me that the fish looked literally just like a penis, and I had
that is also the episode where Dave and I
on Discord
joked about penises with you for 10 minutes.
Yeah, and Jamie, if I remember right, fell out of her chair laughing and getting embarrassed. She was so red-faced about all of that.
Oh my God, I was crying over something on that. Yeah, it was because but also...
Well, if I remember right, it was you inadvertently referenced penises 3 different times in a row. You had pecker on the brain.
Wiener on the brain, yeah. Wiener on the brain. But the fact that that's what stood out to me in that movie, and both of you were just what? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? They're literally penises. And
I think they're just fish, Jamie.
Yeah.
No.
And then I had to go directly to, and then I had to send you guys on Discord, and I'm just that's a penis. One of you even said that's a penis, maybe Dave.
Yeah. I remember that. And then I had to go figure out what the heck was going on, and it was literally apparently they're deep sea fish, and when they came up so fast they prolapsed
and I looked into that too of what they why they but
they never referenced why. They just showed a bunch of penis fish.
Just show you penis fish in the water, and I was excuse me.
Jamie's pausing the screen, real close.
Nice. Only has wiener or boobs on the mind, right?
Wiener. You're not going to miss the subtleties of those things.
Never.
All right. So we have our top movie of 2024. And again, like it was on the other side, it was our second most popular piece of content that we put out by a pretty good margin. Both the Campfire Tale and this one came up. The Campfire Tale was Two Cults and a Lie, Part 3, as I mentioned, which was the follow-up for... And I'm going to tell you because it's not the movie.
Wicker Man? Was it Wicker Man?
Congo,
which
is not by any stretch of the imagination the most popular movie that we know.
I have a guess for most popular movie, but if Eli wants to go first.
Okay, Eli?
I don't. But I have a guess. And if Eli takes my guess, then I don't have a guess.
I'm going to guess it's not Congo.
It is not. You guessed correct.
I'm going to guess it was none of the movies in my block.
Okay. That's not an answer.
Yeah, make a goddamn guess. Do you want me to guess first?
I am gonna go. I'm torn between Devil's Backbone or Pan's Labyrinth. So I am changing my mind about it being my block or your block.
I will tell you that, and this is neither of those were my guess, so you're not. But I will say that Pan's Labyrinth is a more popular movie than Devil's Backbone. So if you want to go by which one people might listen, like
I agree. I'll do Pan's Labyrinth.
Okay, Jamie,
my guess, simply based on what we've discussed today, and by hearing Godzilla -1 being number 2, and I maybe not, but I'm going to go with Alien Romulus.
Alien Romulus. It's not Alien Romulus.
Okay, well, because it was in theaters and it just hit streaming. So
and surprisingly enough, it's a movie that is one of the newest movies that we've watched. It's one of the most recent reviews that we've done. And Jamie's going to rage quit this podcast because it's The Hunt.
Oh, I'm not even going to rage quit. Like that one, I don't even understand.
Because it's Betty Gilpin.
No. I know that you love her, and I get that. But for everything we just discussed here, can you tell me how that makes sense? Like that it's because over Scream, it's over Aliens,
because you're watching Betty Gilpin for 2 hours.
Evil Dead 2, which is an amazing movie.
She don't give a shit. That's why it's Betty Gilpin.
No, take Betty Gilpin out. I still don't understand how The Hunt is the number one.
I love you.
And it's by a margin too. Yeah,
that's insane to me.
Yeah. It's Betty Gilpin, yo.
Is it because of the political climate we're in? And people are just
I'm telling you,
it literally did come out the week.
Gilpin.
It came out the week before election, and I think you're right, Jamie. I think that's part of it.
You could kidnap Betty Gilpin.
It's not Betty
Gilpin. Put her in a burlap sack and say she has to act out Shakespeare, and it would be the finest piece of acting you would ever see on stage, even though she's wearing a burlap sack and she doesn't have an English accent. Betty Gilpin can act her way out of anything. It's Betty Gilpin.
And honestly, do we think it's the movie as much as it is our conversation that our audience enjoyed about that movie?
Well, when they go into it, we always say so you're talking about, some interactions, but some of it is just people go in to listen or download or whatever. So you go into it, that's got to be based on the movie or something, political climate, the name of the movie, the character, the actress in it, whatever. I'm just saying. It was
the final of our Camp Wicked Wild.
Or that it's in theaters, whatever.
Betty Gilpin also won in the brackets for the survivors. This is all adding up.
Can we get off Betty Gilpin for a second?
Betty Gilpin, Jamie.
It's the year of the Gilpin.
It's the year of the Gilpin.
I didn't even know who this actress was till we watched this movie.
You are now better for knowing her. You're welcome.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to send you a shirt with Gilpin on it, Jamie.
Wait.
Gilpin
can I get one of them shirts too?
Yeah.
I want a Betty Gilpin shirt.
Yeah, but you'll wear it
every day. I'd wear it to work.
I was surprised, but honestly, man,
I'm surprised.
Not just because it was my pick for Camp Wicked Wild, but I was really surprised just because it is such a more recent review. And those, my block of movies, there was no chance any of the movies in my block aren't going to have been there long enough to have actually gotten to be.
Oh yeah, because they were the end of the year. Yeah,
exactly. They're only a few weeks old.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that that's factored in here.
Yeah,
I can't believe Evil Dead didn't make it higher just because of the Beatus.
Evil Dead, I will tell you, it's top 10 for sure. Yeah, You're Next and Evil Dead 2.
Oh, You're Next. 10. I've got You're Next.
Yeah. It's probably because they watched the new one and they're like, I'm too sad
to watch the originals.
It hurts still.
So I'm not going to rage quit over the Hunt. I'm just like I said, I'm surprised. Like that one, we're sitting here rationalizing so many of these, and the Hunt to me, like Scream being number 3 of fucking course. Like, and then even Godzilla 2. I got that. But the Hunt being number 1, there's some, people click it by accident.
Let me explain this.
Were they trying for the movie before it?
Let me explain.
They just wanted the scorecard. They just wanted the scorecard.
Auto-played after the other one.
Let me explain this to you in a way I think would make sense, right?
So if you mention Betty Gilpin's name one more time.
I'm not. Okay. Godzilla, King of the Monsters, right? Yeah. Gilpzilla, King of the Actresses. It's Betty Gilpin, yo.
No, I cannot wait. This is never going to happen. I cannot wait till a movie where fucking Samara Weaving takes out Betty Gilpin, and I'm just going to invite Eli to sit next to me. No,
they would team up. They're definitely teammates for sure.
Listen, Samara Weaving knows better. You don't take on the guilt.
You
don't take on the guilt and come away. Betty Gilpin. So she's probably smart. Be like, I got to team up with Betty Gilpin. Why? Betty Gilpin always finds a way.
So that is our.
We got class versus trash. Is that what we're doing?
How dare you? How dare you? Betty Gilpin is the classiest of the class.
That is our grade card for our own content for 2024.
Wow.
Not too shabby. I mean, I think we should all be able to hold our heads high at the wide, diverse breadth of content that we've produced over the last 365. And I'm still having a really hard time getting my mind around some of these movies were this year. Like they feel like they were years ago.
Years ago, yeah.
Like literally, I am having a hard time, Jamie, in my brain coming to terms with you and I went to my first horror convention this year in Jersey.
Jesus Christ, that
does not feel right.
My God, that was this year.
I don't know about you guys. It started in the pandemic, and when the pandemic ended, I thought it would go back to normal, but like time has become irrelevant since the pandemic. It just all blurs together.
Yep.
Time either feels exceptionally long or exceptionally short. There's no in between. Like when someone tells me something happened, I either say like Dave just said, "Oh my God, that was this year," or I say like, "Oh my God, that feels like yesterday." You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't know. It's a very weird time. Is like it's arbitrary.
If you'd asked me 30 minutes ago, I was still convinced we saw Cocaine Bear this year.
We did not. Good.
So, just for added bonus content, as Eli likes to do on Campfire Tales every once in a while, I do want to let each of you know what our audience's favorite movie in each of your blocks was.
Okay.
Would you be interested in that?
Yeah, I would.
Well, I think this will make Jamie feel much better. Yours by far was Evil Dead 2.
Oh.
Was the fan favorite of your block of movies.
Yay.
They really enjoyed that one. It was, like I said, it was in the top 10. It just fell out of the top 5. It's number 7 is where.
I mean, it was never going to be Feast, let's be honest.
Exactly.
Which I put in for Eli.
Yeah,
well, honestly.
Or Hatchet too, maybe.
Feast, number 9.
What?
Oh,
so it's definitely in the top half of.
You know why? Maybe not a lot of people have covered that.
That's probably true. And those that do know the movie, they probably got really excited that somebody actually was talking about
it.
And then Eli, your top movie of the year in the top 10 as well, The Fourth Kind.
Oh,
everybody's favorite.
All right. All right.
And then
I'd argue that's a good movie.
Well, I had a good time talking to y'all about it. Mm-hmm. I don't know about it being a good movie, but I certainly enjoyed the conversation. I remember distinctly throwing you a curveball of saying it's all about hypnosis. There were no aliens or any of that other stuff. But once you get on the carousel camera spin at the end with
oh God,
somebody needs to be smacked.
We all agreed that wasn't good.
Yeah. And then my most popular also, and this is what blew my mind, also makes the top 10 for the year. Having only been out for, I think, 6 weeks at this point.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Because it's a fantastic fucking movie.
Good.
That's
so
why
good.
People were like, as soon as they saw it come out, they just couldn't get it higher enough. Like that, that should have been in the top 5. But they
my favorite part
to get there.
Still about this movie is when we're talking about the cat, and Jamie's like, "Well, no, it could have been fake. The cat was
no,
real."
The cat's fine.
You distinctly see because there's a moment, and I'm almost positive. I look at Dave's block in the camera, and I swear he looks at mine. We're like, "Oh, are we going to do this? Break her heart? Oh, how are we going to do this?"
And then Eli let her off the hook. The cat's fine. It's outside.
Yeah,
it's all glamour.
Cat's fine. It's outside. It's all glamour. That's good.
And we all got to remain friends that way.
Yeah.
But a great movie, and I agree with you, Jamie.
Yeah.
I think if it had been out longer, it's probably going to continue to climb.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great movie.
I think it's honestly, one of those movies a lot of people haven't seen yet, too. So like, it's one of those ones you can listen to it. You're like, oh, I need to watch this.
And it's in a sweet spot, too. You know, people have just gotten past Halloween. It was the next movie review we did after October. People want to stretch out their spooky season. And it's a great movie to do that.
It's a great one to do that. Yep.
Great movie. So we had a hell of a year.
Yeah.
We did.
I'd say so. There's some good stuff there.
Some fine dining there.
Mm-hmm.
Some might say a Golden Corral buffet of content that we put out there.
We all know we all know how we feel about Golden Corrals around here.
We all know how one of us feels about Golden Corral.
The finest dining establishment.
Finest of dinings.
I'm just saying. And I know Jamie hasn't been to one.
Nope.
But all I'm saying, Jamie, how can you, when you're on your deathbed in a 50 to 100 years from now, or in a year when the aliens take over, whatever, and you're laying there, aren't you going to regret just a little bit that you never had the fine delicacy of a Golden Corral in their chocolate fountain?
No. If only for you. I mean, I sent you pictures when I drive past them.
What if I do this, Jamie? As someone who said he would never go to New York City.
Yeah.
What if
You'll come to New York City? Even though there's no Golden Corral there.
I thought there was.
Yeah, I don't know where this is going.
Queens or the Bronx or something.
That is not New York City.
Whatever. Fine. I'll how about this? I'll come to New York City and then travel to
the one. Okay. All right.
If there is a train to get you there
to dine at a Golden Corral with me.
Okay. Yes, you're in.
What awful reason to go to New York.
Just like if you show up at my door with an alien, I will make you.
But you actually have to eat at this Golden Corral. You can't not eat there.
And the confusion sets in, and there's nothing more Mole King than this whole concept. But what we've established, what we've learned over the years of this podcast is Eli is a huge fan, unironically, of musical theater.
I actually am, yeah.
But the only reason that this man will go to New York City, the center of Broadway musical theater, is to go to Golden Corral.
Oh,
listen, I don't like crowds. I can avoid the crowd by watching it when they come out on the Broadway channel.
That is hard when you don't like crowds to do New York.
They put everything on the Broadway channel now.
You just kind of ignore it when you're in New York. You just kind of ignore it.
Oh, you say that.
You just don't come during Christmas. That's it. Don't come.
Then, what's after Christmas? Then you got New Year's. And what's after New Year's?
No, that's the same thing.
There for Valentine's Day.
No, they're not. You come in like March,
August,
April. The middle of the summer. Actually, summer's really good because everybody in New York goes to like the Hamptons or the lake or whatever else. So summer's really good in New York because everybody leaves. So it's just like
you're stuck with the pee smell.
The people who live in New York kind of bounce, and then.
All right. Well, I tell you what. I'm gonna look at the Broadway schedule for next year.
Okay.
And I will align it because I probably should. Like I do unintentionally love Broadway.
You should see a real. You should.
So I see a real Broadway.
You should have the experience
in person instead of just on the Broadway channel.
Yes.
But we will meet in wherever this Queens or Bronx is.
Yeah. You know what? Now that I live in New Jersey, though, I might be able to find one like near New Jersey, so we don't have to go to the fucking Queens or Bronx.
Oh yeah, whatever.
Because that would be better. Maybe it was Long Island. Either way, rather than going to any of those, we can go to. I'll find one closer to New Jersey.
You find one.
And Eli, I know the show that we will all get together and do this. We want to have this experience.
Oh yeah, say Dave, you're more than welcome to come.
Yeah, what are we seeing?
I'm inviting myself.
Oh, perfect.
What are we seeing? First of all, Jamie never goes to Broadway, so this will be like a first. What are we seeing?
In 26, the Dolly musical experience.
I'm in.
I'm
in.
It's happening.
You sold me.
My sister's going to want to go to that too.
Listen, Dolly Parton's an American hero.
And she's getting her own musical, Jamie.
She deserves it.
And you're going to sit there and, hey, Jamie, boobies, come on.
Yeah. Who's got bigger boobies than Dolly Parton?
Exactly.
Nobody.
As a certified melon felon, Jamie, I would think you'd be all over that.
Yeah. No one's got bigger boobs than Dolly Parton, Jamie.
We've lost her. She's having technical difficulties. She's there, folks.
Well, that's fine. You and I keep talking about it. Dave, have you ever been to Dolly Parton's Dixie Stampede?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Great food. Great show.
Oh my God, guys.
Listen, Jamie, you say it, but who has bigger boobs than Dolly Parton?
I know. Nobody. I love her boobs. No, I don't hate Dolly Parton. I just I wasn't joking about me barely ever being to Broadway. I've seen one of those comedy shows that was very good, but like not comedy show. I mean, one of the comedy plays that was The Play That Goes Wrong, or one of those. Like it's really fucking funny. That one. And I've seen maybe some, but I am not a Broadway person, especially musicals. So like Jamie has not shown up on Broadway. Like
now you are. And what's more American?
That's what I'm saying. So now of all the things you pick, you don't tell me there's going to be some cool. I don't know, horror-y thing or whatever. You pick Dolly Parton musical.
Jamie, what's more American?
Unless her boobs are out the whole time.
There always are. What's more American?
She doesn't have a choice in this situation.
What's more American than eating dinner at a Golden Corral and then watching a Dolly Parton Broadway. Nothing. I feel like God. I'm going to dress like Uncle Sam the whole day.
Oh, wow. Okay. Anyway.
So we have one more announcement to make. We hope you've enjoyed this episode. We hope you've enjoyed the year. I mean, we've had so much fun this year watching these movies, doing these blocks, because honestly, and we've talked about this ad nauseum, sometimes we pick the movies in our blocks because they are genuinely special to us. Sometimes we pick them because they're just so off the wall that we're just excited about the conversation we're going to have with each other. So we hope you've enjoyed that. Obviously you have, you all have been incredibly supportive of us, and we're super, super grateful for that. But we wanted to let you know that this is our final episode on the Wicked Wild podcast, unironically, and I'll explain just, without getting emotional. I thought about writing out exactly what I wanted to say, but that's not our style on the podcast.
No, it's not.
So we're just going
preparation.
Exactly. We're just going to family talk it out. So, and both of my co-hosts know this. We've already obviously talked about it. I wouldn't.
Jamie, we should act surprised. We should.
I can't even handle that right now. You want me to act?
Yeah. Well, you're acting in all my movies, so like.
I know.
But as many of you know, you've probably heard that we've lost some hosts this year. This has been a hard year, and we're not going to get into all of the drama of that. Eli has a new job. I have a new job. You've heard me mention this year that I was up in Michigan at times. It's just been a hard year. Jamie has had a ton going on this year. I mean, just beyond the whole, we've joked about her schedule. Like, it was an Olympic year. It was, all the things that happened this year. She has been through the ringer, and sometimes it's really hard to make this happen. I mean, we missed our first 2 weeks in 3 years in November, and we just decided to. We were going to try and make it work. We were going to jam it in and try and because obviously after doing this for so long, you don't want to have gaps. And then we finally decided, what are we doing? We don't owe anybody killing ourselves to put out another episode. But we just got to the point that it finally triggered something that I said long before we started this podcast, when I approached Jamie and Eli and John and about this podcast of, we will do this as long as it's fun. When it becomes a chore, becomes hard to do, or becomes a job, we'll walk away, and we'll walk away on our own terms. We won't be angry or bitter at each other. We won't let it devolve into something that is a burden on the relationships that we have with one another. So hopefully our audience understands this doesn't mean that Jamie and Eli and I aren't friends. We're going to continue to watch movies and talk about them. We're going to continue to be in each other's lives. We're just not going to do the podcast thing, because as hard as 24 was, the more I looked at 25 and the things that are going on in all of our lives, it's going to be one of those things that either we're going to quit the show or the show's going to quit us. I mean, to be totally honest with you, it's just going to become something that's no longer fun and becomes embittered. So as we always promise, we're going to close down shop on our terms, while it's still something that we can be proud of and something that we can celebrate together. And yeah, like I said, we lost some people this year, and we lost them for different reasons, but it always hurts. It's always a hit to the team. When you have a small group of people that are doing this thing that's very unique to us, it becomes very hard to have things fall out. And that's just life sometimes. So that's the announcement. And I certainly want to give both of my hosts the opportunity to share their thoughts on that, or share their views, or anything that I didn't hit on, or special wishes or thanks to the audience that they want to share too. But that's the main thing. Is it still amazes me when I look at the analytics every month, that the breadth of people that watch this podcast, it humbles me. I mean, it's not literally our friends watch the podcast. I mean, we literally have constant, consistent audiences on the literal other side of the planet, like Australia, Japan, We've got people in South America. We've got people in Europe, all over the place that listen to us every single week. And we hope we're not letting you down. We hope you have spent enough time with us to know that the only reason we're doing this is because we want to do it the right way. We certainly would never want to have our show become something that hurts our relationships. The friendships are first. So, and I'll open it up to either of you. Anything else you want to add to that?
Do you mind if I, Eli? Oh,
please go.
I want to echo everything Dave said. I want to say that like, of everything Dave said is completely 100% accurate. And I just want to also make clear that like, we weren't not having fun either. Like this wasn't it. We didn't come and just do it. Like, cause I think it's evident when we speak, like then we're having a good time. I also wanted to say that, I love you both so much. I mean, literally, Eli, I barely knew you when this started and we had literal fights and I love you to death. Like you guys are brothers to me and I'm not leaving your life. Unfortunately, you're stuck with me. I literally called, Eli called me, but I texted him the other day and he called me because I had a favor to ask. Like, you're not getting rid of me. I will hope, and I'm not making promises, but I am saying this on here, and this is open invitation to both of you, but I know Eli and Dave is 100% right. It's shit has gotten out of control. Personally, work, whatever. This is the worst time of year. So like, it's just for me personally and like whatever, but, new year, new things. Like Eli and I will hate on a movie. I promise you that's going to come again. Like, we will do that. And, Dave, if you're ever down to, first of all, yes, we will watch movies. We used to do that also virtually. See, like we used to do this shit before we talked about it too. And like, we would just get on Slack or Discord, whatever, and watch a movie. We will do that. But if we ever want to do a watch along one-off or something like that, I am down. You guys, we coordinate and we will do it together. But, I don't want to say much except that like, just that I appreciate everything that has transpired here, mostly friendship, but I appreciate every single person who has listened, who has found us stupidly funny, because I mean that's all it is. It's good. Yeah. It's dumb funny, which is like my favorite funny. So but for listening to us talk, watching us talk, I've had an amazing time, and that's all.
I'll tell you what, that's made the nicest thing you ever said about me, Jamie. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's been a good time. It's crazy to think about, like, before 3 years ago, you guys were just names Mary would bring up sometimes from another channel. I had no clue who any of you were. And then, we got married and
just a guy who married you.
Yeah, I was just in your wedding part.
Listen, I remember because she's like, hey, I'm inviting some of these people from Slack and Dave's gonna officiate. And I was like, no, okay, yeah, sure.
What's a Dave?
Yeah, sure. And she's like, and Jamie's gonna be I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, sure, yeah, whatever. I was like, they're internet people. I'm like, have you met them in person, or are they like, we're not being catfished, right? She's like, no, it's cool. I'm like, all right, well, whatever. And then like the first day, I met you guys. Jamie was there when I think Jamie, you were there when someone dropped my leftover wedding cake.
I didn't want to say that, but I did witness that. Yeah. Dave, did you see it also?
I was outside wrangling his groom's.
Okay.
Yeah, oh my God. Yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah. Jamie witnessed that. Dave witnessed me stand and change my pants while a man none of us knew came in and just oddly stared. And no matter how many times we asked him, can we help you with something? He would just smile and say no and continue to watch. But yet none of us had the thought to be like, maybe I shouldn't change my pants.
It was the large sketch pad he had.
It was just odd. Like he's whipping on camera or whatever. It's like, who knows?
I just want to take some pictures. Relax.
Yeah. It's like, I was for some reason I didn't stop. I was like, all right, I'm going to keep changing my pants. Like,
you had a marriage to get through.
Yeah. Like whatever. And no one was like, no one was even stopping. We're just like, well, this is our life now. This is what we're doing, which is also odd because we were also in a room with a lot of big windows and none of them were like, there's no curtains. And we're just feeling the whole thing was just a weird, it was just a weird thing. But then that turned into this. So it's been fun. You guys have been great. I've really enjoyed it. I'm not one of those. As you can probably tell, I'm not one of those.
We all know. Emotional,
sentimental,
yes,
sentimental, emotional,
have feelings kind of people. But no, it's been a lot of fun. Talk to Dave about stuff on the side. Talk Dave I made some new friends, and we're gonna keep doing friend shit. In 2026, going to Golden Crown, seeing Dolly Parton on Broadway.
We just made that plan, so
that's happening. That's happening. I want to be there opening night because that's how we might meet Miss Dolly.
I was going to say, and now all of our audience that misses us in 26, they can just show up in New York too, and we'll all
show up.
We'll flash mob the Dolly Parton musical.
We'll all wear Wicked Wild t-shirts. We'll just can you reserve multiple rows for a group? Like tourists.
No, you can't just reserve.
In
Broadway, are you?
I don't know. I've never been there.
Rows?
I only watch it on the Broadway channel. And we'll do fun stuff. It's been fun. We're gonna keep being friends, people, and then you'll have these archived on the internet.
Yeah,
they continue to hear us say weird shit.
And to the point that both of my buddies are making, this I am not taking down. I did take down the website just because I checked the traffic, and there's not really any traffic there. I'm not taking down the social media. If you all want to interact with us, we're going to be there. We're going to continue to weigh in on things. Like if Nicolas Cage makes another hot garbage movie, we're going to have something to say about that. And there absolutely may be, and this is not a promise, but we're not taking anything off the table. If we want to do a Camp Wicked Wild in 26 on boobies, we're going to.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I didn't get my year. I didn't get that year.
Boobies. We had to wear the wiener.
Yeah, if we want to do a limited run of something, we'll do it. But none of us are in a season of life. I think it's fair to say, if I can speak for all three of us, none of us are at a season of life right now where this is sustainable. And that's not because we don't love it. It's not because we haven't had fun. It's not because we don't get a lot of satisfaction over having an audience that engages us and seems to support us in that. That's not it at all. It's just that we want it to continue to be something that we love doing. And I don't know that doing it every week is going to be possible and make it still be fun. Fair?
Yeah.
So on that note, we do wish you, because it's just a couple of days away, 2025 is about to happen. I want to leave you with two things, and I'm going to go first because I'm springing this on my hosts. I'm going to leave you with two things as a Woods person. I'm going to leave you with a recommended gift. I am the Lady Galadriel. I'm going to give you a piece of equipment for your quest, and then I'm going to give you a piece of advice. The piece of equipment that I'm going to mentally, spiritually hand off to every single one of our audience members is a compass. I want to give you a compass that always points to what will truly make you happy. And the piece of advice I would give to any of our audience members is cherish the people in your life that make you the best version of yourself, because you won't always have them, and they're nearly impossible to replace. Eli.
That's good stuff right there. I was real worried when you said Galadriel that you were either about to make a pun or shit on Lord of the Rings. I didn't know which one was coming, but then that's also your fault because you have got me at this point where I'm paranoid.
There is a history of abuse there. Yeah, I can't even deny.
I'm paranoid now whenever you say things, and then I get super defensive when you bring up Lord of the Rings. I was like, what are you doing? Hey, if I get my final word, then I'm going to say this. If I've taught you people anything, always look for the real truth. Keep an open mind. And that's it. And also, don't trust AI. Be careful of aliens. Bigfoot, parallel warpath. Careful of that. Don't touch a golden egg if it comes out of the ocean.
Stop recording.
Don't
grow anything out of the ice. You've heard it all. You've heard it all.
And what are
Watch out for Mothman.
What piece of equipment are you setting them on their journey with, Eli?
If I was giving you one piece of equipment, just one, it'd be a copy of Lord of the Rings because everyone should read it. And if you're not, then you're an uncivilized swine. You're welcome.
Read so it's a judgment you're giving me.
It is. Yeah. Just like the Eli do since day one.
All right, Jamie. You get the final word. I wasn't
prepared for this.
I know. Exactly. And I know you hate this.
Yeah, the whole for everybody, for the whole concept for the past 3 seasons of even having to do an on-the-fly synopsis has given me such anxiety. And to the very last episode, I still never fucking prepared a thing. So I just
and then Dave's giving her the last word forever.
The last word forever is to always look for the boobs and wieners in life. And that's
boom.
That's just solid advice right there.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
That's just solid advice. Because that can apply to any situation.
Yep.
Exactly.
For good, for bad.
Yep.
Just always good advice right there.
Always.
Keep an eye out for those
boobs and wieners. Jamie lives by them words. If you don't believe that, go back and re-listen to Godzilla. She found the proverbial wiener in the needle stack.
We didn't think it existed, but did it? That movie was rife.
Who would have known there was a wiener in Godzilla? Well, I should have worded that differently. That word again. You know what I meant.
Not a wiener on Godzilla. Eli said a wiener
in Godzilla. I did say that. I mean, in the film Godzilla. You know?
Jamie, what are you giving them? What's your gift of equipment for their journey?
Is it a wiener?
No, that's not equipment. Well, it's equipment for some people. Come on, man. I can't. I don't know.
Got nothing.
I got
fair enough.
I can't even be. I can't even.
Hey, I sprung it on you. It's totally.
I'm staring at my dog. I'm not giving him.
Hey, I can make you a suggestion, Jamie.
Yeah, no, because it's Lord of the Rings.
No, it's not Lord of the Rings. I promise it's not Lord of the Rings.
I'm gifting a 6-foot Arctic.
2 fingers.
Trucies.
For Trucies.
Aw.
Look at that.
Have Trucies in your heart, people.
And it is covered in shit, though.
And there it is. That's what you get, Jamie. That's what you get for Trucies. 100%. Now we know. There's nothing David could have said better to sum up what that whole Trucies nonsense has led you to. Shit-covered fingers.
That's what I got after all
You're welcome, people.
That's it.
Oh, I love it.
And we have for a while, I've been doing the dumb dad jokes to finish out our episodes. This doesn't feel like the energy for today. So I'm going to go back with final piece of advice that I started this podcast with is my recommendation to you is that you get out there and get yourself lost because it may be the only place you can find yourself. See y'all. We love you.